bit. And go back to the state senate, the first question out of the gate, and that was on reducing the number of high school dropouts and encouraging kids to pursue higher level education. What as a school board member would you propose in order to, I know we've got a high level of graduation here at Edgewood, and that's fantastic, but to keep that number high, to reduce the number of dropouts that are there and encourage kids to pursue higher level education. Any thoughts on that?
I think the edge down here made a step towards that, Colin. Whenever we developed the edge, that kept some kids in school. It's hard to keep them entertained. And my son's a teacher up here, and I've heard some of the problems that we have. So you just got to tell them that there's no jobs out there if you don't have at least a high school education. You're going nowhere. And preferably, as soon as you get out here, you need to go to Ivy Tech or some university. But that's got to be stressed at home too. You really need the parents' help, and that's where we need to work at.
As I've been a part of Edgewood and even talked to different people in the community, one of the things that our school models that actually even Monroe County has looked at in what we do is the partnerships that we have between families and community in our schools. And other schools are looking at what we do and saying, how do you make that work? And I think that's something we need to continue to do, because it's not just about the teachers or the board or the superintendents. You have to pull in families and have real conversations with people. There has to be that component. The other thing that Edgewood has done, and Richland Bean Blossom, is to do and I think Mark Stoops mentioned this, was the idea of graduate coaches. And I think that that's something that we do a great job of. If you don't know about that and what we do here in our school system, you need to know about it and you need to celebrate it, because it's why our graduation rate is so high. We've got people who care and coach these kids and sit down and have the hard conversations with mom and dad and with the kids to say, hey, we want to get you through this and work with them. And that's been provided because we went out and sought out outside grants to pay for that. So we went out and found other revenue. We generated revenue outside of just what we had to say, how can we make this work? How can we pay for things? And so those are things that we need to continue to look at and do and be creative. Again, the mission statement says that we want to be creative in what we do as a school corporation. We can't just follow status quo. We've got to look for new, innovative ways, not just to do education, but also to say, how do we really look at what we do to make these kids prepared to be tomorrow's leaders? How do we do that?
We have great teachers in the school district. There's no doubt about that. Our graduation rate is already high. But I think the one area that is common across all school corporations is in the home. And I know that probably better than anyone, because in my line of work as a police officer, I'm in the home the night before a student has to go to school, and the chaos that can be caused in some of these home lives and the effect that it can have on that student the next morning. I've driven kids to school because their parents don't want to get out of bed to take them. They've called the police because their children are uncontrollable. And we have to go take the role as a parent and drive them to school. So I think that an area that we don't focus enough on is what the child brings to school with them. And how can we deal with that in the classroom? The teacher has a class of 25, 30 kids, and every kid's unique. But we need to identify the children that are having trouble at home and don't let them slip through the cracks. We need to, I don't know the mechanism to do this, but it needs to be a priority that we identify when children are struggling at home and it's affecting their schoolwork as early as elementary school, and get the assistance that they need to be successful in school.